Hey, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in your day. Let's jump right into this. The Y here is problem solving skill using a table. Okay, so this is a relevant problem solving skill. I'm just going to throw the formulas at you. I probably shouldn't do it. Probably should discover them, but I'm just going to throw them at you to model this skill. So area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared, and the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so we're going to use those formulas to sort this table down here in 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so I would make sure that these formulas are somewhere I could see them. I'll just rewrite them. Area is 4 pi r squared, and volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. And I'm just going to do that for the same reason we make the note cards, so I don't have to dig around, chase around, just have them right there with me. So this one we're just going to work forward the whole time. So if the radius is 4, the exact area is, we're just going to plug it in there and simplify. So this is 6. So r equals 4. So the exact area is 4 pi 4 squared. This is all multiplied, so we can move it around in any order. I'm first going to do the exponent. So I get 4 times pi times 16, and then I'm going to move the numbers together and leave pi by itself. So 4 times 16 times pi. When I do that on my calculator, or I just use my head, that is 64. So 64 pi is the exact. And we did this before with exact and approximate. Exact, you just leave pi alone. And while I think initially people struggle with this, the more comfortable you get with doing that, it's actually less work. And I do believe the majority of us prefer less math to more math, so it's helpful. Exact volume, same situation here, except now we're plugging it in a volume formula. So 4/3 pi r cubed, 4/3 pi 4 cubed, 4/3 pi 4 cubed is 64. Use your machine if you're struggling with that. And then I am going to move this over here, and this is like over 1, so I just multiply the tops together, and 4 times 64 is 256 over 3, and the pi is still there. Now, I don't know if this reduces, right? 3 could go into 6, I don't know. So here's where I get out my calculator. 256 divided by 3 is 85 and 1/3. 0.33 is 1/3. So I know it doesn't reduce, so I'm just going to leave it, because again, the exact is exactly, no rounding. 256 over 3 pi. Okay, so now we're going to do approximate area and approximate volume. So to get the approximate area, all I do is just plug that in my machine. .06, and then approximate volume 256 divided by 3. I'm actually going to put this in parentheses. 268.2 0.08. And I'm leaving the units alone because I want to model some problem solving, finding a pattern later on. Okay. So, alright, so now we got to work backwards. This is 6. Do 7 over here. If the exact area is this, then let's find the radius. So the exact area is 4 pi, and the formula for area is 4 pi r squared. We want to isolate the r, so we're going to use some of the golden rules of algebra, and one of those golden rules is to hunt zeros and ones. So I'm going to hunt a 1 here, and another golden rule of algebra, if thou shalt do it to one side, thou shalt do it to the other. So this cancels and becomes 1, and the same thing over here, 4 pi over 4 pi is 1. So now I've got 1 equals r squared. Now I can solve this equation, or I can just use my head, or I can guess and check. What number works for r to get me 1? And the only thing is r is 1. So that makes this easy. 1 goes in here. If 1 is the radius, then I can plug it back in to this volume formula to get the volume. So volume exactly is 4/3 pi r cubed. Well, we just said r is 1. So now I've got 4/3 pi times 1 cubed, which is 1. Multiplying anything by 1 doesn't change it, so I'm just going to write that in as the exact volume. 4/3 pi. Approximate area. Just take the exact area and plug it in your calculator. So 4 pi is 12.57, and approximate volume is, what do we have for volume there? I think we had 4/3 pi. So 4 divided by 3, close it, pi, 4.19. Alright, so those are those first two. I'm going to bump down so we have a little extra space here to do some math. Might even rewrite my formulas. A equals 4 pi squared and V equals 4/3. So I have them. Alright, so now we've got exact volume. So this is 8. So I'm going to plug my exact volume in for this. So now I've got 36 pi equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Get rid of the pi. So now I've got 36 equals 4/3 r cubed. We're doing reverse PEMDAS. This is all algebra, so we're going to do the multiplication and division before we do the exponent when we're undoing. So to get rid of 4/3, I'm going to multiply by 3/4 because those will cancel and find that 1 that we're hunting. So 3/4. So when I do that, I'm just going to use my head. 36 divided by 4 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 is r cubed. And the cubed root, or guessing and checking, what times itself 2 other times or 3 times total is going to get me 27. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So r is 3. If r is 3, we can use that to get the exact area. So we'll just plug it in here. 4 times pi times 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. 4 times pi times 9. 9 times 4 is 36 pi. 36 pi is the exact area. Those two are the same. Okay? Just happened to work out in this case. Not always going to find that. fact, I might argue that it would be pretty rare if you did. So I'm just going to do it once though. That makes it nice and easy. So 36, 113.10, because that 9 is going to round to 10. 113.10. And since they're both the same here, they're both the same there. Awesome. Wonderful. Great. Grand. Marvelous. 9. Approximate area. So I'm going to use that with our area formula and just work backwards. 803.84 equals 4 pi r squared. Just plug that in for area in this formula. Work backwards, hunt zeros and ones, do it to one side, do it to the other, divide by 4 pi. That's going to leave me with r squared over there, which is a good place to be in. So I'm just going to throw that in my calculator. I got 63.96755. That's pretty close to 64. And I happen to know that 64 is a perfect square. So I'm just going to make the assumption that the worksheet is trying to get us there. And then take the square root of 64. That undoes the r squared if you want to do it algebraically. 8 is r. That gives me enough information to go here. That gives me enough to plug it in here. 4 times pi times 8 squared. 8 squared is 64. 256. 256 pi. And then last part is 4/3 pi 8 cubed. So I'll go 8 raised to the third times 4. And then I'll see if 3 goes into that. It doesn't evenly. So I'm going to leave it as 2048 over 3. Throw the pi on there, and then that would be my approximate answer. And I'll just use 2048 divided by 3 times pi. 2144.66. Okay. That is it. That is all for today's lesson. This one is getting up to the 13:30 mark. So with that, I'm going to say we're done. Call it good. Have a great rest of your day. Be well.